Well, hello, traders and investors. I'm LA Little. This is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets and do it from a neoclassical perspective. So we're looking at supply and demand on the charts. We're using that information to make decisions about how to position with the trend. How to position, what's the timing? Those are always the two questions. They give you probabilities if you have a model that allows that, which is what the neoclassical model does. As far as these markets today, they were down, but just slightly. Almost nothing given away. The market keeps hanging at the top. So let's look at the charts, starting with the S&P 500. So what do we do today? We are still inside the big bar. That was the breakout bar. So when you go back and you look at it, you got your breakout here. You're holding the gap area, right? You came down towards the bottom of that bar, still stayed in it. Low volume, but still hanging at new highs up here. And that's a positive. That's not a negative when you can do that. So that's the S&P 500. Now, if we turn to the weekly, on the weekly, last week you had the breakout. So here's that breakout, suspect trend, right? You get over the top, right? You get a breakout. Now you're hanging above it. If you're bullish, you want to see it hang up there. You don't want to see it come back. If it comes back, it's probably going to test into the bottom third of that bar. That's the area that it could get back into if it pulls back. And so you're wanting to see it hang up there. If you bring it back and look at it monthly, this thing has continued to stretch over the breakout. So the breakout was way back here. You tested 3-4 times. Then you finally got the push, and now the continuation. And so from a long-term, intermediate term, really nothing wrong with this market. And on a short-term basis, nothing wrong with this market either. After the push down, now the spike back up, the V-shape moves. If we turn to the NASDAQ, looking at the NASDAQ, on the NASDAQ, we have a push to the top side as well. The highs there last week, 6217, or not last, well, it was last, actually it was last week because today is the first day of the trading week. The top today, 6217.13, back there was 6217.34. So you did not test, you had about as much volume. You did do like a little hanging man, which sometimes can, from a candlestick perspective, give you the pullback. On a weekly, just continues to rocket towards the top, and on a monthly, not even a blip. NDX looks almost the same. Let's take a look at that one. I think we're going to have that same hanging man. Well, not actually not. The NDX held up even better. If we go to the Russell and look at the Russell, there on the Russell, you actually have some pullback today. The Russell has been stuck in this large range. If you bring it back, it has been unable to move. And so you just saw that huge divergence looking at the NDX chart and looking at the Russell chart. Most of the trading action in the Russell for the past 6 months, folks, has been in this little area. And it looks like it's going to, work its way back down to the bottom again. Now the problem is that if and when it breaks, there's two swing point lows that are congruent, which means you could get a faster break to the downside if it happens. And I suspect this is the bar it's going to try to get back into if that's what happens. And so that's the way the Russell is set up. But so far, it's been all about the NDX, and the NDX, the big cap technology stocks. It's really 5 stocks driving this market. It's Google, it's Apple, it's Microsoft, it's Amazon, and to some extent it's Facebook. And that's where all the gains are this year. I mean, that's about a third of the S&P gains. And one of the mentors has put that data together here at TA Today, and it's a pretty amazing stat actually. It's that you got 500 stocks, but you got 5 driving the majority of the action. Moving to the world markets, let's see what we have there. Starting with the French index, just like is hanging in a pattern up here, just a holding pattern. The big jump up after the elections, and it's been holding ever since. German market doing the same. They were all down a bit today, but nothing big. Swiss market also doing the same. So really no changes there of any significance. If we look at Shanghai, really nothing there. And on a weekly, yeah, not much happening. And for the most part, it's just another slow day, a slow summer day. You had some things that were standouts like the socks, again, pushing up. That was another ABCD structure to the top side. I don't know how many of these it's done on this run, but it continues to do them. You got another one up here, goes up, looks like it just about extended, maybe a little bit more to go, but that's the socks. If you look at discretionary, where Amazon exists, that one has been pushing back up to test again. Did test today, looks like a test failure today. We'll see if that matters. Amazon did hit the 1,000 mark, closed up underneath it. Healthcare looks like it's in a holding pattern. If we go to the safety stocks, utilities have been on a tear. The other one's been on a tear is the durables, and both of those continue to push and test at the highs. Technology, of course, is what's been driving this entire market, and today was no different. Pushes up, makes a new high again. Industrials, also a big mover. They're up at the top, still hanging at the highs. The ones that were trying to bring it down today were financials. Financials trying to roll over. And really, the big moves down in financials aren't in these mega caps. It's in the sectors like KRE, KBE, the small regional banks. Here's energy making new lows again. I'm not sure how many times I've said that. If we go back and look at this, it's just a continual bust on the energy trade. The last kind of straw was this break here, and you got that break last a week, it looks like, on that bullish retest regenerate. So all the gains on the way up pretty much being taken away on the energy market. Basic materials to some extent have been stuck, and they still are. Let's see what the transports did. These guys are struggling to come back to the highs. Now, if you look at the transports look a lot more like what we see. Here's that November spike, right? This looks like a lot more like what we've seen in the small caps. The majority of the trading action is in this area. Lately it's been here, before it was up there. And these are looking like they're going to try and break back down. And so small caps and transports both singing the same tune. I did talk about real estate here a couple times back. The ones I really focused on were the home builders. I know with the members, I believe here also, we had that bearish engulfing I talked about should lead to a retrace. It has. So today it looks like it actually gave the test on the bullish retest regenerate. Tested fully, has less volume, does like a hammer. That thing's going to try to bounce back to the top side now. So it's done what it needed to. If it's going to hold, this is where it's going to be. This is your bullish retest regenerate, not only here, but back into this one as well. This swing point high over here that was broken, it's the second, third, looks like the third, it's the third test back. One was here, one was there. We take that back. One was here is two, and this is the third one back. So if this gets deeper, I think the big move here might be done. So that's the way that one shapes up. And another one that just couldn't go anywhere today was biotech. Biotech is trying to break back down, breaks 3 swing point lows today, and on the intermediate coming back into the big bar. You get about a third of the way down, you can expect this thing to trade even deeper. So not much more to go here before this really begins to accelerate to the downside if it doesn't find some buyers. Overall, slow market. Overall, still hanging at the highs, still nothing, absolutely nothing on the index is telling you this thing's going to turn. When it does it, it will do it probably like it did last time. It'll be out of the blue, comes off of nothing, and just downside acceleration. And then I guess we'll see if they can pull another V-shaped reversal back out of this thing. That's it for tonight. Have yourself a great one. I'll see you next time. Good night.